I want to move on here, but I should say your intel chiefs do say Iran's abiding by that nuclear deal. I know you think it's a bad deal.
I disagree with them. By the way,
you disagree with that assessment.
I have intel people. That doesn't mean I have to agree. President Bush had intel people that said Saddam Hussein in Iraq had nuclear weapons, had all sorts of weapons of mass destruction. Guess what? Those intel people didn't know what the hell they were doing. And they got us tied up in a war that we should have never been in. And we've spent $7 trillion in the Middle East. And we've lost lives.
Do you trust your national security advisor, John Bolton, because he worked in the Bush administration?
I do, and I respect John. And John is not one of the people that happen to be testifying or on.
Got it.
And you know what? I tell people, you can testify any way you want. I'm not going to stop them from testifying.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, MOXNews. Thanks very much for tuning in. Okay, so I wanted to, correct the president. He says that George W. Bush's intel people didn't know what the hell they were doing when it came to Iraq and Saddam's weapons of mass destruction. That's incorrect. They knew exactly what they were doing because they fabricated every single piece of evidence in the Pentagon and the White House themselves. There was no evidence. In fact, all the evidence pointed the opposite direction, that Saddam had gotten rid of all of his weapons of mass destruction. And they knew this, and they made bullshit up, and we all know that. And they made bullshit up. And the reason that I'm correcting the president is because this is incredibly important, okay? And plus, when the president says, they didn't know what the hell they were doing, that's like they were naive. They weren't naive at all. They knew exactly what the hell they were doing. And they did it for the sole purpose of creating an endless war that generations of war profiteers could war profiteer from. That's the sole purpose. They put our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters into harm's way for the sole purpose of making already filthy rich motherfuckers even more filthy rich, beyond their wildest dreams. That is the sole purpose that they destroyed Iraq. And in the process, they killed 1 million innocent Iraqis in a war of choice based on lies fabricated in the Pentagon and the White House. They killed 1 million innocent Iraqis and then displaced like another 5 million into refugees and made refugees out of another 5 million at least. Okay, that was done in your name with your tax dollars, in your good name with tax dollars. When there's millions of people in the street around the world, I know I was one of them, marching and saying no war with Iraq. And the entire time, people like Hillary Clinton did nothing but help forward the war in Iraq, helped make it happen, helped keep it in place, and the news media went right along with it too. They absolutely did not do their job. In fact, they helped disseminate information that they knew was phony, completely made up, zero science behind it. And they did it again. The reason the media did it is because they saw dollar signs, big dollar signs from their war profiteering owners, the people who are the but also because when there's this war, more people are going to tune in. There's this thing happening that we all need to know what it is that's happening, that's important and affects all our lives. It's being done in our name with our tax dollars. We should know about this. Everyone tunes in. The war makes the news lots of money in more ways than one. And And it's so sad that instead of President Trump actually stating these things, and you know, he doesn't have to go and arrest George Bush, because George W. Bush deserves to go to prison. George W. should be put in prison with Dick Cheney and all the people from the Pentagon back then that helped fabricate this information in order to make the world a safer place for little children. You all keep saying, oh, we care about the children so much. You make examples of people who murdered 1 million innocent Iraqis for money. You make an example of them. You say, we don't allow this. But instead, we just all move on. God, we have to look forward, right, Obama? We have to look forward. Okay? So, I thought it was really important that I make sure President Trump knows, you know, that he doesn't want to sound like fake news that you all say you hate so much. There's well over 8,600 videos on this one MOXNews YouTube page. It takes a great deal of time and effort to make that happen. Each video is hand-selected personally by myself and edited and uploaded and published hour after hour, day after day, providing you and the world with an endless stream of bits of information that are worthy of your time. Again, it takes a great deal of time and effort to make that happen. Imagine how long it would take you to capture, edit, upload, publish 8,600 videos. Some of them, many of them, being over 2 hours long. You have no idea. It's easy to give something back, to say thank you for all your hard efforts. Say, hey, I'd really like to buy that guy lunch. If you could just kick down for lunch, that would be super generous of you. You can leave a donation at MOXNews.com, or there are clickable links in the text body of this video. That would be very kind of you to give something back. That would make you one of the good people here. Thanks very much for tuning in. Stay cool. One of these days this war is going to end. It's got to end one of these days. Till that day.